Relevant Podcast. Anytime, anywhere.
It's the week of Monday, August 25th, 2008, and this is the Relevant Podcast. The Relevant Podcast is the audio companion to Relevant Magazine and relevantmagazine.com. I'm Cameron Strang, and here with me is only Maya Strang.
Hello, everyone.
This is going to be a completely different kind of podcast. Basically, we're recording it live on location from the Hillsong United conference in Houston, Texas.
Yep.
It's been going on this past weekend, and it was basically a day-and-a-half event of worship and teaching, and the debut, I guess, or sneak preview or premiere.
Yeah, kind of all wrapped into one.
Yeah, of the social justice / worship live music worldwide film that they've been spending 3 years making, called With Hearts as One. It's releasing in stores as a double DVD and CD, I guess September or early October.
I think they said to say fall 2008.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be September 26th, and then it was like, maybe it's October 9th now. But anyway, the DVD's done, and we saw it, and it's absolutely stunning. It's 2 hours long and filmed on most continents.
Right. It's great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was unreal. And then, it's not just worship. It's you just have to see it. It's not just a live concert. It's just unbelievable. So coming up later in the podcast, what you're going to hear is I bootlegged a lot of the live worship.
That's right. They tried to stop us.
But I got permission from people more powerful than the ushers.
Right, but the ushers did try to make you stop.
Yeah. And so I'm there with all this audio equipment, recording it and stuff. So you'll hear some of that. And then I have a conversation with Joel Houston, who is the de facto frontman of Hillsong United, even though they have a bunch of different leaders.
Right.
So there's a conversation with him. We recorded that on Sunday afternoon after we all, it was probably about 15 of us, stayed up till 4 a.m. on Saturday night to watch the gold medal basketball game.
Yes.
The guys are huge basketball fans.
Yeah.
Know probably more about the NBA players, salary cap, all of those things than most very serious American NBA fans.
Yeah, for sure.
Except Maya schooled him on a couple of things.
I did impress the guys, so
yeah,
I know my stuff.
So that's coming up later. So we have we'll do this totally backwards. Before we get into that, I have a few updates. First and foremost is you heard the Libyans come get Adam last week on the podcast.
Yes, they did.
Well, they gave him back because
what? We didn't ask for him back.
Adam's not leaving the podcast. He is leaving the country, but he's not leaving the podcast.
We have technology.
Yeah. Somebody on the message boards where everybody was basically doing eulogies about Adam, and just everybody was like sorrowful and crying, and it was just the saddest thread ever. Somebody goes, well, I listened to a podcast that has a guy in Texas and it has a guy in London, and they use Skype, and it sounds like they're in the same room. Why don't you guys do that? And I copied that post and forwarded it over to Adam and said, and he goes, I'm in.
Sweet.
So we're going to use this thing called technology, and Adam is going to be part of the podcast every week from New Zealand. Now, he won't be in for the entire podcast, but he'll be in for the main sections like slices and stuff like that.
So should we maybe try and give Adam kind of like a to-do, like something he has to bring every week, or his own segment? I don't know.
His own segment. This week in sheep news.
Right.
Yeah. the funny thing about that thread on the message boards is people who didn't hear the podcast, but are podcast listeners, and they missed the announcement. And so they read it out of curiosity, like, what are they talking about Adam?
Yeah.
And so they're reading the first few pages. They hear the announcement. They're all bummed.
Did it ruin it for him?
Well, yeah. Well, no, they're saying like they're bummed. Like they're literally like kind of like some people are saying they were tearing up. They were really, really sad. And then they click and they see me say, well, never mind, he's staying. And they're like, thank you for the shortest emotional roller coaster ride of my life. I really enjoyed that. So Adam is staying, folks, because of your ingenuity, because of your proactive problem-solving skills, folks. I want to encourage that. We reward problem-solving. So maybe you can figure out a way to get Jesse and Kara back in here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so that's good news, right? That's number one. Number two is we need to know who you are.
We do?
Yeah. I have an email here from Josh Babiar, the newest addition to the Relevant team. He's joining us as associate publisher, and he's trying to basically update a lot of the things we're doing. He's going to bring some new ideas to the table. He's working on some stuff, and he wants to know who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see. He has a lot of questions.
I kind of feel like he's going to actually make our business run a little more smoothly.
I like Josh. Josh is coming to us from a very cool music and culture magazine based in Chicago called Stop Smiling.
Yes.
Very cool magazine. He was the executive publisher there for the last 3+ years, and he's joining our staff. Anyway, he and Betsy have worked up a survey that they would love for you to participate in. It's located at relevantmagazine.com/survey, and let's see. They are giving away a $100 Amex gift card.
Yes, they are. I approved that gift.
Oh, yeah?
I did.
So, and the reason why, folks, we did a $100 Amex gift card is so our international listeners could also participate.
Right.
Because you guys are valuable to us, and you got excluded from the Sydney drawing. So we thought, hey, we'll put you in the running for that $100 Amex gift card.
Next best thing.
Right, exactly. Speaking of Sydney, we have this weekend when we were with the Hillsong United guys, we were able to choose the winners of the Relevant and Hillsong United Escape Down Under contest that we've been talking about for so long. Over 34,000 entries and 29 winners. Your odds are not very good.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not even going to tell you who the winners are. You can find all of the winners at relevantmagazine.com, and you can even see Joel and I videotaped the opening of the grand prize envelope.
You did.
I handed it to him after I accepted all the bribe money.
Right.
And I rigged it and handed him the rigged envelope. I didn't rig it. I can tell you this. The winner is from the East Coast.
Representing.
The winner is also a female.
Ooh.
So if you're a female on the East Coast, you might want to go over to relevantmagazine.com to see if you won the grand prize.
Yeah, just at some point today.
If you're wondering if you're late to this, the grand prize being that Integrity Music, Hillsong United's label, is flying the winner and a friend to Sydney, Australia for an all-expenses 6-night, 7-day trip to attend the Encounter Fest conference that Hillsong United puts on.
And they're going to be hooked up. We're talking to Chris.
Chris over at Integrity is telling us they have VIP treatment, seating, the whole nine, the entire week.
Yeah.
And they know how to do it right. So this is going to be an incredible opportunity. So, and if you didn't win the big one, there's a great second prize, autographed guitar, a bunch of stuff. And then they give away a bunch of CDs too. So go check out the full list over at relevantmagazine.com. And last but not least, as a personal aside, I've had a very busy and stressful week.
Kind of, yeah.
Right now, as you're listening to this, the Democratic National Convention is going on. And what many of you didn't know is that I was invited to give an invocation or a benediction at the DNC. And when I accepted, I said, oh, sure, this would be a great bridge building opportunity. Want to continue a positive dialogue. We may disagree in several substantial issues, but there's enough areas of common ground and an agreement that it'd be good to have the younger Christian demographic represented. And so I accepted. They tell me a few days ago, well, I guess last week, that it was going to be opening night.
Right.
On the big stage.
Uh-huh.
Part of the broadcast. And that threw me for a loop because I really thought, I'm a nobody. I'd get a 2 o'clock workshop.
I know who you are.
Yeah, thank you. I really thought I'd get a 2 o'clock workshop on Wednesday. And it'd be much, it'd be nothing, right? Well, when the stakes were raised where it became opening night, it just gave me pause because I have areas of agreement with both parties and areas of disagreement with both parties. I don't want to be seen as endorsing one over the other. I see common ground with both. I see areas of significant disagreement with both.
Yes.
And so and while our generation of Christians tends to agree about our convictions, kind of moral conservatives, we want to protect life. We're not real thrilled with war. We care about other life issues like genocide and systemic poverty and preventable disease and others. That there are agreements on those issues because of our moral conviction, because of our faith. But there's disagreements politically, and I just didn't feel it wise to show favoritism or pick a side. And so, even though the DNC did not ask for public endorsement, and they knew that I wasn't a Democrat, and they were fine with that, I thought the inference of people who saw me on that stage would think otherwise. So I raised that concern to them, and they understood and said, that they would still really want somebody representing us there. And I thought, seriously, that is awesome. Seriously, that's fantastic. And I don't want our spot to be given to, somebody else, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I called friend and best-selling author Don Miller and said, Don, since this opportunity, what do you think?
You called him Donnie, right?
Donnie boy.
Donnie.
And he said, absolutely, I'm in. And so the DNC was thrilled. And yes. Don Miller today, the day that you're hearing this, Monday, will be giving the benediction at the DNC tonight in my place. And I think it's all for the best. It's better for the DNC. Don's famous. I'm not.
Yes.
And I get to continue positive dialogue with both campaigns in a more low-profile way. On Thursday, I'll be participating in a panel at the DNC called Faith in the 08 Election. And I'm looking forward to similar conversations with the RNC and with the McCain campaign.
Yeah.
I'm actually having a conference call with McCain specifically about faith issues this week.
That's right. You're finally getting it.
Finally talking to him. Right.
They came back around.
Yeah. So, interesting. Well, when that little note, a change of schedule hits the press corps, they all get interested. And so over the last few days, I've done interviews. Now, we've turned down like 90% of them, but the AP did a story on it, and I was on CNN briefly on Friday, and it looks like Monday morning I'll be on Fox News and I think Hannity and Combs at some point during the week. Just to give you guys a heads up. We're not in any way seeking publicity about this. They're just coming to us, and I think that it is a good opportunity to promote the values that we stand for. And in no way is it an opportunity, or no way am I seeing it as an opportunity to promote relevant or promote us. I see it as an opportunity to promote the things that we believe in.
Right.
And so that's why we're talking to some press. We didn't seek out any of them. They called us. I did write a blog about it. If you're furious with me that I'm talking to Democrats, or if you think I'm a coward for pulling out, I would just implore you to read my own words and my own thinking on it. And if you go over to Relevant's website, I wrote a blog called Why I Accepted and Then Declined an Invitation to Pray at the DNC. And
right.
There's a lot of very strong opinions posted underneath it. And, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And I just want you guys to know that my heart was never to mislead the DNC. My heart is not also to endorse the DNC. I really strongly feel that there's an opportunity right now to work through disagreements with both parties to talk about the things that we stand for and can challenge both parties to hear what matters to young Christians, and that no matter who wins, that we have a place at the table, so to speak, and that we can be bridge builders, and that we can stand strong for what we believe in, but do it in a respectful way that furthers positive dialogue and hopefully positive change. So Maya knows all this already.
I have heard this story before.
But I figured...
I actually was there
yeah.
with all the phone calls and emails. And
my life has been a little bit turned upside down. I never really thought that all this would kind of happen, but
thankfully, we said this past weekend. We were in a Hillsong conference with awesome praise and worship, and was able to get away from all the craziness.
Attacks.
Yeah, get away from all that and get back in there and just be with God, and
Yeah, God's timing is perfect, and He knew when the stuff would hit the fan, and we just happened to be at a worship conference, and I'm in there in an environment of worship, and on my phone, all these just hate-filled emails are coming in, and then I get to tune that out and just be in God's presence, and then step out, talk to CNN for a few minutes, come back in, be in God's presence. I mean, it was absolutely the best place for me to be over the last few days.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very thankful for that. So, Hillsong guys, thanks. The ministry that you guys had this weekend did more than you realize. Anyway. All right. Well, that's it for us rambling. You're about to experience a very unique, probably one time only type of relevant podcast. So after the break, we'll come back and you'll hear what I heard and what we heard, worship, and then a conversation with Joel Houston from Hillsong United. Stay tuned.
Don't wanna live a life disguised in a lie behind a smile. Save yourself, I don't pacify. Don't wanna talk, don't wanna walk around in circles until we're eye to eye.
You're listening to What Made Milwaukee Famous. The song is Resistance Street from the album What Doesn't Kill Us. I don't
makes
know.
us stronger.
Hey, that's a good theme for our last weekend. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard De Novo Doll with the song Shout and the album Move Every Muscle, Make Every Sound. Okay, one last announcement before we toss to Hillsong. Big news. Big news.
What is it?
This week on Wednesday, Relevant TV is back.
What?
Relevant.tv, our 24/7 online streaming music channel, will be back from the dead.
People will be happy about that.
People
I'm pretty
will be happy about it. It took a turn for the ugly when it went away for a little while. People are kind of like, they're patient, they're waiting for it to come back. And then we started getting emails like, hey guys, when's it going to come back? Hey, what? And then threads started popping on the message boards. Then the threads on the message boards turned nasty. And
that happens.
we thought, you know what? We should probably just bring Relevant TV back now. So,
yeah, that'd probably be the easiest solution.
yeah. So
why not just make them happy?
we got some of the team working on it, and Relevant TV will be back on Wednesday. Make sure to tune in. You can find the player at relevantmagazine.com, obviously, or relevant.tv. And for the next podcast and beyond, you'll hear the new music added each week to relevant.tv. It's all coming back around. We don't have to just go through my iTunes randomly
That'll be
and
nice.
play music for the podcast. It'll actually be the new music added to Relevant TV each week. So thanks for caring, folks, and keeping us on our toes. Relevant TV is coming back.
Yeah, we kind of need constant reminders sometimes, and that was one of them.
That was an area where your proactive problem solving. Well, no, you're just complaining. Actually, you didn't really help us. You just complained.
But it does show we read what our podcasters write, because there's this, and now we're bringing Adam back through Skype.
Well, that's true. I mean, we really do read every email sent in, and we have many staffers who, even though maybe not posting very frequently on the message boards, absolutely watch the Talk to Relevant and Podcast Fighter sections in the message boards. So
yes.
your voices are heard. Okay. So, you know what? Let's just go ahead and cut into some live worship music recorded by my handheld recorder. So this is not an official cut or anything like that. But this is Hillsong United. This is just a little bit of Hillsong United, and then you're going to hear my conversation with Joel Houston about their new film project and their whole social justice passion and focus called I Heart Revolution, and what it looks like now and what it looks like next year and beyond. They have some very, very cool stuff happening. So here is Hillsong United and Joel Houston.
Before creation, eternity in your hands, and you spoke the earth into motion. My soul now to stand. You stood before. The cross for my shame, my sin weighed upon your shoulders, my soul now to sing. So what can I say? What can I do? When you say I will
We saw the premiere of the live music, or the live concert film. Tell me about that. Like, how long did that take? How did that start?
It kind of all started off really about 3 years ago. We were in Colombia, and kind of was like, all right, we need to kind of document this, and so kind of had this idea birthed in I suppose my spirit, but I wasn't really sure kind of how it was going to outplay, but just knew we needed to start kind of recording and documenting our journey, and so we just took a small little crew. Like, started off with one of the girls at church came along with a camera and kind of followed us around, and all the guys around, and then basically we recorded for 3 years everywhere we went, and we went to Africa and Europe and South America, all over the place. So that was kind of the vibe.
So how did it turn into like a worship band is now kind of leading a social justice movement? Like, what happened?
Well, for me, it was confusing even turning into a worship band because that wasn't on the agenda or on the list of things that we wanted to do. It was just something that we found ourselves doing, and at the same time, I think in trying to work out what that was, what it means to be a worship band, I think it was possible to ignore the fact that there had to be it had to go beyond just these nights where we get together and worship with people. There had to be the effect had to go beyond the walls of those churches or those buildings wherever we got together. So that's kind of, I suppose, where it was birthed out of that, because I think we struggle with the concept of even just being a worship band.
Like why?
Well, I think because for us it was just a matter of when you grow up sometimes and you're trying to work out what you want to do with your life, and then all of a sudden you find yourself doing something, and that's kind of our journey now. And we just grew up in a church and we all loved music, and the deal with our church is it's kind of like whatever you're passionate about, like bring it to the table and let's use it to kind of to honor God or to kind of help kind of reach out into our community, however it looks. And for us, the thing that we loved was music, loved writing songs, same with the other guys. And so we got together and we would just kind of try and have as much fun with that as we could at church. And as we grew up and got on, next thing you know, we kind of find ourselves traveling around the world and singing these songs that, to be honest, when we first wrote them was kind of just for our young people, but they've travelled, and that's the amazing thing about creativity of songs or whatever. And so we found ourselves travelling and then travelling more and more, and then it's kind of you stop and you realise, hang on, this is kind of what I'm doing with my life now, and how did I get here? And yeah, so that was kind of where that came from, and just in trying to work it out, because I can be honest, we were singing songs in church and singing to God in spirit and truth and all the rest of it, but at the same time trying to work out what it really means to worship. And I couldn't ignore the fact that when we'd travel to these places and you'd see all these people going crazy for God and being passionate and hungry and all the rest of it, and then traveling to these places and looking out the windows of the buses or the planes or the cars or whichever we were, going to these venues and seeing these streets and these cities and these towns and seeing the contrast between the two and going, hang on, if what's happening inside these buildings isn't having effect on the streets that we travel down to get to these places, then maybe we're missing the point, And so my biggest fear is that what we would do would be a distraction from what God's called us to do, and so that's why we're really placing emphasis on iHeart and getting that message across that it's impossible for us to for these times where we get together and celebrate God and sing about Him. It's impossible for that to be real unless we're serious about getting out there and making a difference in our communities.
So tell me about the process of making what we saw on Thursday.
Yeah.
Like, it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Filmed all over the world, and I've literally never seen anything like it. Like as far as a live music experience, I've never seen anything like it. So, how long did it take? What was your involvement?
I think if we could do it again, we'd be way smarter about how we kind of pulled it all together. But basically, it was kind of just let's film everything, and then let's just go through everything. I mean, we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage, and just logging that in itself was kind of somebody's full-time job. And we had a team of 3 people who were working on it, and just really amazing people. If I could just tell their story, their commitment and their selflessness and their tirelessness would be enough to inspire us all, I think. But we just worked and basically just wanted to tell a story, and where we kind of we can see what we're a part of globally, because so often we get caught in our little box. I mean, I know here in America, a lot of young people never travel their whole lives, and I mean, Australia, a lot of young people travel as soon as they finish school. They go away for 2 years and just kind of travel the world, and it's an inspiring thing, when you understand where you fit in the scheme of the whole world. I think it definitely changes your perspective, and so we wanted to document that. We wanted to document the nights where we'd get together and play these shows or whatever, but we wanted to document the people, the places, the stories behind some of these places, and just through the midst of it string, I guess, the message of Jesus, and that's, I think, that's the most important thing, and you see how relevant the message of Jesus is to just the world in full, but it was a lot of work, and we just kind of spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and it grew. It was going to be like 8 songs, and then it was 12 songs, and 2 hours worth of kind of gear, and that's just the first part. So
Yeah, and it's talk about that. So there's a whole nother thing coming, right?
Yeah. So we kind of broke the whole deal into 3 parts. With Hearts as One was the first, and we kind
That's what we saw.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
really about, just like I was saying, just about us seeing what we're part of as a body of Christ around the world. It's about the confession of our lips, that we come together and we sing these praise songs to God, and it's a great thing. And it's about showing that contrast between the two, as I was saying, between these places and these people in those places, kind of who are hungry to serve God. But so that's kind of part 1, and that's the first kind of film. And then We're All in This Together is part 2. And that's kind of like a documentary kind of feature-length film type deal. It's about 2 hours long, and it kind of gets a bit more to the core of the issue, and it's really about challenging the church to kind of push past our religiosity or our focus on ourselves, and as humanity, our focus on ourselves, and how as long as humanity or the church or an individual is focused on placing value on themselves, well then someone somewhere else is going to be devalued, and that's why we have this great imbalance in our world, because it's just emphasis on placing significance on ourselves, and really it's about challenging that within the church, and it's about challenging us as people and as the church to kind of look beyond our differences and just get about focusing on what we can agree on. And hopefully that's the message of Jesus, and we believe the message of Jesus is that we would love our brothers and sisters, and that we would help those who are in need and help those who are hurting and broken. So that's kind of what it's all about, and it's not comfortable to watch, and we're trying to work it out for ourselves, and we're putting ourselves in the frame because we're trying to work this out. As 20-somethings, kind of trying to work out what this whole life thing about, and what the Christian life is about, and what is really important, and we're putting our hands up and going, okay, we haven't got it all worked out, but this is kind of what God's revealing to us. And so it's important, I think, that it'd be really easy to just kind of to look forward to all this great stuff that is there, and which is amazing, but at the same time, if we as people or as the church kind of just get distracted by even the task sometimes of just kind of pulling off church, or we're missing the point completely. And
what do you say to people who, our generation has this passion to change the world, to reach the hurting, to tangibly kind of live outwardly?
Yeah.
What do you say to the people who say, well, this is a fad, or it's too focused on works and all that?
Yeah, well, if it's a fad for someone, it's a fad for someone. It's not a fad for us. I don't think it's a fad in general. I just think generationally, if you look at the world we live in, be it because of technology, be it because of where we're at in our consumerism and our materialism, the reaction to that is going to be I think generationally what we do is we want to kind of rage against the status quo a little bit, and so that's why there is a fad element to it, and that's why I think there's an awakening, in the church, outside of the church, wherever, and be it towards environmentalism, which is something I think the church needs to start addressing, or anywhere there's this consciousness that is like, hang on, we actually need to think a little bit beyond ourselves here, and if it's a fad, a fad is the yo-yo. This isn't a fad, and you can go back generations and look at times when God's moved, and you can look at great men of God who saw revival, whether it be William Booth or the Wesley brothers, or whether it be William Wilberforce, and these guys, they were passionate about the very things that we're talking about right now, and we're talking about 100 years ago or more, and you can go right back through history, and if you're serious about understanding who Jesus was, I think it's impossible to ignore the fact that everything he did was about others. Everything he called us to do was about raging against the religious kind of self-pious kind of form of faith, and reaching out to those who are hurting and broken, and so the world can see it as a fad, but for us this is everything. This is our life, and really it's up to the individual to decide whether it's something they were into for a few years before they moved on to something else, or whether it was something they chose to take on as as a lifestyle and as a lifetime kind of commitment to being the hands and feet of Jesus.
Are you guys catching flack or getting criticized at all, by Christians?
For sure, you anytime you kind of you stick your head up or put you people can take a shot at you in Australia. That's kind of that's our way of life. People just like tearing each other down, and we're prepared for that. And that's why I think it's important for us to kind of put ourselves in the frame as well, and not present like we have all the answers, because we don't. But we're just like everybody else trying to work it all out. And this is kind of, I can't shake the stirring in my spirit, neither can our guys. And for me, it's about the unseen. It's about what happens when the cameras aren't on, and when people aren't looking at you. And that's, the message behind this thing too, because we get real good at our charity and focusing on our charity and focusing on our good works, and we're missing it completely, because this is about loving without agenda. It's about loving without any kind of form of self or personal gain or anything else. And I think that's the real challenge, really challenging people to just do things in quiet and not, blast around. It's about building orphanages and not worrying about having your plaque written on the front of them, you go to these places like Africa, and you see these orphanages and you see these big plaques, and you're like, okay, that's really great. I think it's good for people to be honoured for doing good works any time of the day, whatever. But how about we just not worry about it? How about we not worry about what banner we do our good works under, other than the name of Jesus?
Right. So you mentioned 3 phases. The concert is the first one.
Yeah.
The documentary is the second one.
Yeah.
What's the third one?
It's I guess the ongoing kind of online website type deal.
When's that launch?
Hopefully with the documentary.
Okay,
yeah.
so next year.
It's almost ready, but we just want to make sure it's ready before we launch it. And I suppose the frustrating thing is we don't want people waiting out there to kind of get involved until we launch this website. And basically it's there to kind of connect the dots and just facilitate as best we can the church working together in this respect. And for me, I really found it hard to kind of get educated on some things. Like, I'd hear about things, or I'd read about things, and I want to know more. And why does this exist, and where's it going on, and how can I help? And so thinking that way, okay, how can we do that? So we want it to be a place where we make it simple, we break it down, kind of the core issues, and you can learn about different needs and different things that are going on in the world that need to be addressed, and then we can point from there. If you're passionate about a certain cause, we point there to organisations that we've found, or people who are doing things that we think are reliable and trustworthy and good soil to kind of get involved with, and at the same time it's a place where we can connect and inspire one another. We want to tell stories of individuals or churches or people who are doing what we think is really, really great things in their local community, and it's about us seeing what we're a part of and acting locally, and being inspired to kind of just get about our own backyards and see that if we can kind of all do that together around the world, well, then we're actually making an effect. Because it's easy sometimes to think about the need on the other side of the world and walk straight past it in our own backyard, and so it's got to start in our own backyard first. But then what we want to do is we want to basically set goals for the church, not any denomination of the church. It's not under the Hillsong banner. It's not, we want to just set goals for the church to kind of do some really great things together, and for it to just sit there under the name of Jesus. It's just something that the church is serious about. So
that whole global and local thing, I heard you coined a term, glocal.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, everyone thought it was a spelling mistake. I'm like, no, it's actually it's a new word.
I'm gonna steal that. I like that, because that's the thing, is like we get so focused on the big causes, the big things on other continents, that you kind of overlook things you can do tomorrow.
Yeah, totally. That's and we've talked about that for years in the church. It comes all sorts of things, but it's the truth, and we got to be serious about it. It's the little things. It's like stopping on your way home from somewhere and just doing. It's about engaging people. In the cafe where you get your coffee in the morning. It's about just being open as a person to other people, regardless of how they look or what they wear or what they have or what they believe, or it's just we can be really, really ignorant and really arrogant as Christians, and I think we've got to kind of slap ourselves around the head a little bit and just kind of wake up to how Jesus lived. And we used to wear this "what would Jesus do" kind of things. For me, that was always about like abstaining from any manner of sin, and and I was like, well, hang on, what would Jesus do? I'm looking at it now, and it just applies to so much of how we live and how we act.
It's almost too bad that became so cheesy, because it's such a profound concept.
For real, and if anything else, if it was just waking up to the fact that just going, okay, is this about my agenda, or is this about God's agenda? Is this about my will, or is this about God's will in every circumstance? Right. Even the whole, like Romans 12, renewing our mind, daily, and just thinking about what that is like. Because for me, that was always, again, okay, keeping my thoughts pure. But that, as a kid growing up in the church, was about not doing this and not doing that and not doing this, rather than actually just being about, okay, let's just remove myself from the picture here a little bit and think about other people.
One of the biggest things that surprised me about you guys, switching gears a little, is that you're all huge basketball fans. So, I want to know that we're about a month out from the season starting. Who's going to win the NBA championship this year?
Well, the boys in our team would disagree with me greatly, but I'm a big LA Lakers fan.
Oh, are you serious?
And well, my team was the Sonics.
Okay.
I was a big time, like I said, Sean Kemp, Detlef Schrempf. They were my heroes. I was them and Gary Payton. I was Sam Perkins. I was all of them in my driveway growing up. So I would just alley-oop to myself, Payton to Kemp, and sometimes I'd throw Houston in there myself, just kind of playing it. So I was a big Sonics fan, but their demise has led me to
it's Oklahoma City now.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
It's ridiculous.
No, all love to Oklahoma. But
in the U.S., I when that happened, I was just ripping Oklahoma City apart. I mean, they stole the team, and so we're getting angry emails from all these people in Oklahoma, like, it's not our fault,
But, what do you think, the Magic have got a chance?
No, not for the championship. I mean, they're good, top three in the East, but they're not great yet.
Yeah, no, I like the Lakers. I feel like they did pretty well last year.
Yeah, they did. And now that a whole season with Gasol.
Yeah.
That was a travesty how they stole Gasol for nothing. But that's funny. Well, cool. Well, thanks for talking to us.
No worries, man. Thank you.
You're listening to Devachka. The song is Transliterator. The album is A Mad and Faithful Telling. I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
This is where Adam would say some pithy comment.
I'm so glad he's going to be back. Because I cannot keep that going.
You can't roll with the pith.
No.
Adam's pithy, you're not.
He says words and I just kind of giggle and I'm like, I have no idea what that means. Let's just be honest. I'll let y'all know.
You're the everyman.
Right. I'm here to fill in the dead space with giggles. I cannot come up with pithy
Hey,
sayings.
it's all the body of Christ, Maya. Some of the hands, some of the feet, some of the giggles. So it's all good. So, Devachka, there you go. I want to thank Joel. A lot of people are going to want to know where to find out more about what Hillsong United is doing, the iHeart Revolution stuff.
Yes.
It's like he talked about. It's a work in progress. The website's coming. The documentary film is coming next year. But to sign up for email updates and to get news and to just kind of join now, get on the ground floor of this thing, you can actually go to i-heart.org. i-heart.org. And that's where you can get info as things kind of keep evolving.
Sounds good.
If you haven't heard Hillsong United's albums, you really do need to pick them up. A lot of our listeners don't listen to Christian music. that's fine. They just listen to music that they like. But when you're in the mood for music that connects your spirit to God and that kind of really, really touches you in that deeper level, worship is a great place to go. And there are artists out there like Jason Upton and Misty Edwards, and there's a number of them.
Yeah.
Those are my personal favorites. But Hillsong United is doing some amazing stuff. If you have a chance to see them live, I know they're going to Indianapolis in a couple days, and they're up in Toronto.
Yeah.
They're doing an event down in Cape Town, South Africa. If you have a chance to see them live, you really need to, because the lights are amazing. You think you're at a Coldplay concert, but that's not why you go. There's something so much more significant that happens. If you listen to the recordings, the majority of the singing is coming from the crowd.
I love that. That really is and they do it quite often. They step back from the mics and just let the crowd sing it. It's just it is so beautiful. People crying out and singing out to God. It's
the antithesis to a concert. I mean, because they're up there leading the crowd in passionate praise and worship, and they'll sing enough to get things going. And then they literally will just step away and play, and that's why you don't hear voices. You only hear the crowd singing for very long refrains. I mean, and it's so real, and it's not conjured, and it's so authentic, and that really is impactful. And if you have the chance to experience that live, you really need to. It's not everybody stands there and looks at the band on stage and, at all. It is participatory, and it is absolutely connecting you to God. God's presence is there, and it's a very significant time. So, not to build up man and not to promote a band, but they have an awesome ministry that's happening.
Right. God's really working through them and through their music.
And you heard as Joel was talking. I mean, they're just people. They don't see themselves as a worship band. They're just on a journey, and they're figuring out. They have a heart of compassion. They have a heart of worship, and they're just trying to figure out the best ways to walk this thing out. And I think that kind of vulnerability is very refreshing, because that's kind of how we feel. I mean, even in the last week where we've gotten really criticized from people who have very strong opinions on both sides, it's like, well, I respect those opinions. We're just trying to figure this thing out, and we're trying to stand before God and have a pure heart and say, Lord,
use me.
Yeah, Lord, use us, and
right.
And I get that vibe from Hillsong United, and we come across so many people who are about self-promotion and pride, that when you come across somebody who's not, that is just in it because of the right reasons, like everything in me wants to scream from the mountaintop, these people are doing it right. Pay attention. This is how it should be, And I honestly feel that way after being around the United guys for a couple years now. I mean, we've known them. So, and they are really big basketball fans.
They are.
And that always is a plus to me.
Right.
It just tells me about your heart.
Your hearts connect.
All right. Well, what we're going to do to close the podcast, this unusual podcast this week, is to just play it out with another bootleg worship service. And
that's how we do it here.
we're rolling bootleg. And remember to go over to Relevant to see the winners of the contest. Remember to go to relevantmagazine.com/survey to tell us about you, what you like.
We would like to give you money.
What you want us to do.
Yeah.
What matters to you. That's the thing. It's not trapping your info. We want to hear your voice, and this is just a very good way to do it.
Yeah, it's really how we figure out how to craft our everything that we do. We want to meet your needs and stuff. So.
Yep. All right. With that, we'll be signing off, and we will leave you with some more live worship from Hillsong United, and we will see you next week.
We will.
Darkness tremble in your holy light, and every eye would see Jesus our God, great and mighty to be praised. sing it together. So little light, darkness tremble in your holy light. But every eye will see Jesus our God. Great and mighty to be praised. To God, God of all. Jesus gave everything. Everything. We get so good at dwelling in the land of superlatives without really understanding what we're saying, what we're singing. With everything. With everything. With everything. It's a whole lot easier to sing that than it is for us to live it out. That's what God's called us to. And every dream, every gift, every moment, every opportunity, every circumstance, every challenge, every trial, every fire that you have to walk through is an opportunity to give God the glory. And if nothing else, when we leave this place, the fire in our bellies, the conviction in our hearts, to worship God, to serve God, to live this thing called life, giving everything to God, for God, to represent His life. God, I pray for every single person in this place, God. God, for every single one of your children in this building. God, and I pray for all of the people that these people represent as they move beyond the four walls of this building. God, may we, as we understand your grace and as we continue to go deeper in understanding your love and your mercy, Father, may we reflect your light and your glory and your love in the very same way, God. God, with selfless faith, as we stand here in this moment, it's a holy moment. What does everything look like for you? As David said, I will not sacrifice for my God that which costs me nothing. It's going to cost you something. So what's that for you?
Relevance Podcast. Anytime, anywhere.